Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mental Health Monday. My name is Kenneth Thomas, and on Mondays, I like to talk about different aspects of mental health. Apologize for the screen shaking. Monitor. All right. So, I had kind of a rough patch that I hit and had to see my way through to the end of it. And part of that was taking a break from doing the regular lives. And I just want to say that if you're somebody who finds themselves faced with um, those kind of difficult times, it's okay to take a step back from things. All right. In fact, it's probably a good idea that you do so. Now, one of the big things is that there's a lot of people that look at how people are, and when they try to take time for themselves for these mental health breaks and that kind of thing, they're viewed as being selfish. um well, how dare you think of yourself? What about whatever that happens to be? Now, the thing with that is, though, is that if you are constantly pushing yourself and not giving yourself the opportunity to um how would I put it? If you're not giving yourself the opportunity to make sure that you are um if you're draining your batteries down to the point where you can't do things for what your obligations are, you're not doing your obligations any good, and you're not doing yourself any good. Okay? So if you are able to, taking some time off, and it could be as little as an afternoon, but taking a break from the daily grind, from what it is that is just pushing you down to the point where you're feeling overwhelmed, taking a step back from that is essential. Okay. One of the things that we don't do um, is take enough time for ourselves. Now, taking time for ourselves also includes taking time for those that are important in our lives. So, if you are somebody who has a family, taking time for yourself to spend with your family is essential to your uh, wellness, and is essential to your family's wellness as well. So that's something that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration when folks are like, "What, you're taking the afternoon off for a mental health break? Well, what about?" But if you're on a project and you have a deadline, well, that's an obligation that you better meet. But if you aren't on a crunch, if you are at a point where you can take a step back and just let your batteries recharge, do it. The other thing is that if you're somebody who works Monday through Friday, you need to protect your weekends, because that's your chance for your mental health break. That's your chance to decompress from everything that's going on. Now, some of the things that I do when I need to decompress, um, I do puzzles. Okay. Now, a lot of times I'm doing them on my computer. I have a jigsaw thing on my computer. And part of the reason that this is like a mental health break thing for me is that um, it's kind of a zen thing. I can focus in on what I'm doing. It doesn't require a whole lot of mental effort, so I can let my mind relax. But another thing about this is this is something I used to sit and do with my mom. So even though she's not here, a lot of times I feel like when I'm sitting and doing a puzzle, either physically or on my computer, it's like I'm spending time with my mom. It brings me back to those emotional, um, it brings me back to the emotions that I felt when I was younger, when I was sitting there and working on a puzzle with my mom. And that really can help me decompress. And you know, it's a reminder of a simpler time. Um, it's a reminder of this woman who was like the anchor of my life for a huge chunk of it. My dad was in the Navy, so he'd be gone. on a fairly regular basis, um, on his deployments and that kind of stuff. So who was the person that was there all the time? My mom was. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but she had her own mental health struggles and challenges that she was dealing with. She was battling depression. I battled depression all the time too. But she really worked hard to not let it impact us when we were younger. As I got older, she would talk to me about it. I would learn that this is something that, grown-ups deal with. They feel sad sometimes too, all that kind of thing. So it's important that you share these things with your kids, but it's also important that you try to protect them from some of that. Okay. And, taking these mental health breaks, doing something that is recharging your emotional and physical batteries is really, really important. Okay. Because we don't do enough of it and we run ourselves into the ground. And this impacts us in ways we don't even realize a lot of times. Okay. Not only is this stressing your mental health and your mental wellness, it's also impacting your physical wellness because that kind of pressure cooker environment, being in it for an extended period of time, that is something that is going to um, drag your physical health down along with your mental wellness. It'll drag your physical wellness down. Okay. The fight or flight aspects of survival aren't meant to be a continuous thing. So constantly being in that pressure environment, while it may be thriving in some aspects, it's also extremely damaging in others. So even if you're somebody who thrives in that high pressure, you know, grind and success kind of environment, you still need to be one of those people who occasionally takes a step back and just allow yourself that mental break, that emotional break. And it could be doing something, and I know a lot of people who thrive in this kind of thing, and they do things like Spartan races. Well, for two reasons: one, it gives them that challenge that they thrive on, and two, it's a physical break. It works out emotions and stuff when you're doing this physical activity. I know some other people who they play tennis. They do these different kinds of things because it it keeps them physically active. It gives them a break from what their normal grind is. And this is one of the things I think that, I remember from when I was a kid, I was watching some of these movies like Secret of My Success and some of these other things where I'm watching these high powered executives and they all have these workout spaces in their offices. They all have gym memberships and they go play squash, which I still don't know what the hell squash is. I think it's racquetball, but a little different. I don't know. But they're out there playing these things. They go out and they play these hard physical activities. And I realize it now that a part of what they were doing, one, it's a social aspect where they're doing it with other people that they work with. But the other big thing is that they were giving themselves that intense physical activity that helps recharge you mentally for going back into the office, for going back into the normal thing that you're grinding on. So there's a lot of things where we see parts of it in our culture, but then again, there's the whole other thing where you can't call it that. Don't say that you're taking a mental health break. Just say I'm going to the gym. You know, don't don't say I need to take a step back. I'm going on vacation. The problem is a lot of times when we go on vacation, we try to put so much stuff into our vacation that it stresses us out. Because you know what? We got to see these 15 countries in the 7 days that we're on the thing. And oh my gosh, we're going to be behind schedule. And oh, we didn't see the Eiffel Tower when we saw it at a distance, but we didn't go up the Eiffel Tower like we planned to when we were in Paris. Yeah. Stop and smell the roses, folks. That's one of those things that you none of us really, I think, do. And this is one of the things I love about having young children is they will force you to stop and smell the roses because they want to stop and see things. I remember when one time when I was with my youngest and we were watching this trail of ants that was just moving along, carrying stuff back and forth. They had like a 2-lane highway thing going. And we watched these ants crawling on the ground. We were probably only about a 2 meter area, but we watched these ants for like 45 minutes. And she was fascinated. How did they know where they were going? How did they know what to bring? How did they know that was what they were supposed to take back to the nest? And to me, ants, but whatever. But to her, it was something new. It was exciting. It was fascinating. And it was a sense of wonder. So I try to do things with my kids that help me recapture that sense of wonder. Sometimes it's sitting and having a conversation. Like the other day, I was singing a song, and it happened to be a song that was in Italian. Um, and Marcy asked me, "Is that Spanish?" No, it sounds like Spanish. It sounds like the songs they were singing in Coco, which is a movie I haven't seen. And I was like, no, but Italian and Spanish are similar. And then we ended up having this whole conversation about Italian, Spanish, the Romance languages. She goes, French is one of those too, isn't it? And it was just this fascinating conversation with her where she was like, and then she was like, I don't know why they call them the Romance languages. I was like, well, because it's all from the Roman Empire. They're all from Latin, which is what the Romans spoke. So they are called Romance languages. And just seeing that light bulb go off for her, it was awesome. And this was like a 20-minute conversation, but it pulled me out of where I was. Got to share some cool knowledge and a cool little conversation with my daughter. And it helped. It helped me be like, okay, now I can go back to what I was doing. I had a quality moment. We need to have more of those quality moments in our lives. All right, folks. That's the big thing about taking mental health breaks. Make sure you have those quality moments. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if y'all can see it. Gotta figure. There we go. Right there behind me. My wife got me this. Came in a little late, but I love it. Got their names on the lightsabers. I love it. So I'm the father. I love it. All right, folks. Now, one of the cool things that I wanted to talk about is that 988 has gone live. All right. 988 is the new 3-digit dialing code that will route callers to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It went live on a couple of days ago. Now, instead of having to remember the old number, 1-800-273-TALK, which still will connect you, by the way, you can just dial 988, and it will connect you through to people that can help you out. So if you're somebody who's struggling with mental health, if you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, or you know someone who is, reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They are here to help you. And you may not realize it, but there are going to be people who dearly miss you when you're gone. And suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary situation. So if you're somebody who is having troubles, reach out and reach out and get the help you need, because you matter and people are going to want you there in their lives. So, and a friend of mine, Darcy, commented that the quiet quality moments are the things that you will hang on to when a loved one is gone. Found it out when her mom passed. Yeah, I kind of did too. And then, I lost my youngest brother a year after that. And then a little over a year after that, my father passed. And you never know how long you're going to have with people. So make sure you get those quality moments, because they are going to be what they will carry when you're gone. And they will be there for you to carry when they are gone. So if you're catching this on Facebook, please follow me so that way you'll know when I'm going live. If you're catching this on my YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. And, reach out to me if you have any questions. Now, I will be going live again on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about wellness. It's going to be a little bit more about skin care and that kind of stuff. And then next week on Tuesday and Thursday, we'll have Tuesday's tips, where I'll be talking about aperture settings and depth of field and some of the things that you can do with that. And on Thursday, I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about yet, but it'll be Thursday's thoughts. So until next time, folks, peace, love, and photography. And remember, everything can make a beautiful image, including you. Have a great afternoon.